figured out the biggest two luxuries like civilization has are legitimately hot water and toilet paper. They are legitimately the biggest two, bar none. Um, they are the things that truly measure how wealthy you really are, because hot water and everybody laughs when you hear that, but it's actually the truth. So when I was in Arizona, the hot water tank was like where I was tiny. So I'd have like these 5-minute showers with like nice hot water, and then it would just become this lukewarm thing.
Yeah.
Right, at best, right? So here in Canada, hot water tanks are I think, a little bit bigger on average.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy them because I remember what it was like when I didn't have a damn thing, right? So that to me is like, so if people want to know what being poor is like, so take your hot water and take your toilet paper and just pretend they're not there, and then you know what being poor is all about, right? So that's why toilet paper is a luxury in third world countries.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of what, like, that's kind of, wow. Never thought I'd be talking about hot water and toilet paper with Marnye Young, but there we are. Nice to see you. Actually,
yeah, nice to see you too.
Yes. So this is Marnye Young, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Just Joshing. I am your host, Joshua Pentellaresco. I write stuff and podcasts too. And we are live here in the middle of the day for the first time ever. And this is the one and only audio sorceress herself. She's one of the nicest people I've seen online. She's also one of the hardest working people I know online. She's currently got a Kickstarter going on for one of her audiobooks, and we'll talk about that somewhere in this conversation. Somewhere. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you watched yesterday, but yesterday I ended up talking for like 2 hours about everything but his book. But that's okay. That's just how it is. Right. But Marnye is one of the most talented narrators, storytellers, performers you'll probably see behind the sound. And she's got and she's like, ah, and she's blushing a little bit now. And here's the best part: now I can actually see you blush. Right, when she's like, no.
That's what didn't agree to this part.
Yes, you're like, what? I'm saying nice things about you. How dare I?
I have to go. I'll see you later.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh wait, I saw the picture. I thought.
Yeah, it's all good, right? So, so I have been like, so we have been friends for 2 years, give or take. Yeah. She's still someone I kind of want to work with down the road when, you know, I'm a little bit more rich and shameless, right? I'm already shameless, so I'm halfway there. But all this to say, welcome to the show, and welcome. Thanks for being brave enough to come on and do this live where everybody can see you.
Yeah.
You're surprisingly shyer than I expected you to be a little bit.
I'm what? What?
You're a little shyer than I actually expected.
Oh, really? Yeah, well, it's different when you're like, your face, it's one thing you're on the phone. And I don't really like phone calls much, but yeah. No, I know. Well, yeah, sometimes. I actually can be very shy. I know I'm a pretty good performer, but
well,
you know, I'm the one that stands by the chips at the parties and just eats. No, I'll just be at the chips.
I am a little surprised because you're a very confident performer.
Thank
you. When you actually are performing, you seem very at home, and I figure at the very least, I mean, I can see you being I can see you being shy-ish. A lot of performers are, but I always figured you could, like, at this point in your career, you've got a persona. I mean, you're the audio sorceress. So I mean, yeah, exactly. Muscles on muscle. Look at that, right? But I mean, that's Hey, listen, Rocket. Let me tell you something, brother. This is the way it's gonna be, brother. And that's, I mean,
this is how it's gonna go down.
Maybe not quite that. That doesn't.
Joshua, let me talk to you about something.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna tell you all about life. No, I don't have it.
No. So, but I mean, that's the thing that surprises. I am a little surprised because I feel you've accomplished, like, you are incredibly successful at what you do.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I try.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, Marnye is a narrator, and she also creates audiobooks. She's a performer. She's also a very savvy businesswoman. She's got her own plans for world domination. I'm sure it's somewhere in her head. But for all that to be said is you're very accomplished. It takes a certain degree of confidence to do what you've done and do it well.
Yeah.
So where does the shyness come from after all this?
No, I mean, it's different. It's just different. It's like, I don't know, when you're in the mode, you're in the zone and you're doing your thing, and then talking to somebody, it's different. If I had to pitch to you or something about, I don't know what, then I'd probably be different. But this is like casual, let it all hang out. So then it's like, oh, I got.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got nothing to hide. You haven't killed anybody, or have you?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I'm trying to make you bigger, so stand by here. And
I'm trying to make you bigger. Okay.
There. Now you're bigger. That's better.
Yeah, but the thing is, like I said, it's interesting because we are in a world today where naturally introverted people, like most artists are very introverted people, but we're in the age now. We're in the social media age of, hey, listen, you got to talk to people in order to get people to know you exist. Hey, listen, you got to present yourself because you are as much the marketing team as you are the performance side. You don't have any that middle person doing all the marketing work anymore, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's how I built my brand. I mean, I spent a long time on social media. I did. I spent a really long time just, networking and developing relationships with people, learning about the business that way, sort of coming at it from all different angles to, learn it, understand it. What are the needs? What are the needs of the clients? What are the needs of the narrators? And as a narrator, I know what I need.
Stop it.
But yeah, I mean, I just, I don't know. Originally, I didn't ever think that I was going to have like some big business. I certainly didn't think I was going to have 9 people working with, well, it's 10, including me. I didn't ever see that.
No.
And it's sort of, I mean, I had a LLC, made myself an LLC in 2018 in August. I don't know, it's just me and an engineer that I had hooked up with, who's amazing. It was just the two of us, and Michael Kinsey, sorry. And somebody came to me and said, "Do you have any women?" And I had already gotten to do some duets with men that I just hired, on my own. And I was like, "Of course I do." I wasn't quite ready for that. I knew eventually, I figured eventually I'd get some women like that I wanted to work with. And so that was it. It just kind of snowballed from there. And I started actively seeking to put together a roster and find people that I know and trusted, and getting referrals from other people and building up. And now we have like over 100 people. And it's very diverse, very proud of that it's very diverse, that it's international, and then I used ACX. It's called, it's on Facebook. It's called like ACX Indie something or other. I don't know. It's a private Facebook group that somebody told me to be a member of. And I was like, hey, I need an engineer. Hey, I need an assistant or somebody that can help me, blah, blah, blah. And I just lucked out. I have like the most unbelievable team ever. I mean, they're all so multi-talented. Like I have one, she's our videographer. She's a graphic designer. She does, she does our website. She's also a narrator, and she's an author, and she's a mom. And I have another one, she does she's a director of social media, but she also is like a brand ambassador, and she's an incredible singer. She's a triple threat. She's an actress. And then like all of our engineers are all award-winning. They're all musicians. They have their hands in so many things. They're all like Renaissance men and women, because they do so many different things. And I just, I don't know. They work with me, and I don't know why, because they can really go.
Well, let's see.
But I guess I think it's an energy that I have and a passion that I have that either you can be scared of.
Oh yeah, sure.
Or Josh knows. Or you can be like, yeah. And he has, you know, I love passion. I love, you know.
Well, see, here's the thing. Passion is one of two things. Passion will either draw people to you or it will repel them. There's no middle ground.
Yep.
Because if you're very passionate and you care, now you're putting your ball on the course. Like, okay, let's just do this. Let's go for it. Let's make this happen. Let's just go, right? Or someone might say, yeah, man, and they'll jump out of that plane with you. Let's just go. Let's do this, right?
Yeah.
So I have a little promise, and that when I turn 80, I'm going to jump out of the plane.
Oh, wow.
What the hell? I'm 80 years old.
What do you have to lose? Yeah.
Not much at that point, right? So
not really.
Yeah. So I have a friend. She's a cool friend. She said she'd jump with me. She's about 70. She's 72. I mean, at that time.
Right.
So I mean, we both might need naps afterwards. You know, maybe, but that's okay. Like whatever. Like life's not life. Like right. But that's just the kind of person I am. I offered to do that jumping out of plane thing with someone else, and she's like, "That sounds so cool. Want to do it? Hell no!" Right? It's like, right? It's an honest reaction, but that's what you get. Like passion either will draw people to you, or it will push people away from you, and that's the world. Right?
Yep.
It's how we filter. I think with passion, people who are very passionate, that's the filter we have. Can you match the intensity we bring to the game, or do we just, are you just not equipped for it? And by the way, there's no shame not wanting to join in on the fun. It's your loss, but it's no shame in that, right?
Yeah.
But, right. That again. A passionate, courageous, going for it, going out of your comfort zone kind of deal. That's not for everybody, and that's fine. I mean, you have to live the life whatever that life in your head is, you got to live it. For me, I mean, for you, it's very much about okay, you are a performer. You're trying to use what talents you have to make a living for your kids, which is a hell of a motivator right there. Right, which is a hell of a motivator right there. But at the same token, you have. I'm going to build you up here. So if you're going to turn red, okay. Sorry, and she turned, and that's a pre-red. I love that. Now I actually can see you in person. I can actually just turn you red on cue. This is going to be hilarious. But you have an incredible business savvy. You have a vision for what you want to achieve, which is already a huge plus. Most people don't have that. Even that. You're passionate about what you do. You're good at what you do. You're trying to make something work, and everything and anyone that's done this for a long time will tell you, like, look, I'm starting to do a Twitch. I've turned this into a Twitch stream. Right now, people can come in and go, hey, you can come watch the stream, or hey, you don't watch the stream. And I know this is the very beginning of this for me. Right. So I don't know if this is going to take off or not. But here's the thing. I'm getting video experience. I'm getting the ability to work on a film aspect. I'm still doing a talk show environment where I'm interviewing people. I'm doing something I love. So even let's say hypothetically we get to January and I can't draw a single person to come to this show for whatever the reason is to come watch it. Sure. Which hasn't been the case. I've had people to come watch shows here and there. We're just playing with the different times right now, trying to figure out what the ideal time is, right? But this is the sixth one I've done. I do enough of these, and this is how the universe works. You're in. People notice that consistency day in, day out. People start noticing, hey, he's not just a flash in the pan. Hey, he's going to do this. But even if it doesn't work out, I suddenly have this giant portfolio because my YouTube channel. Right. It now has all my resume, like all my resumes right there. I can just send people here. It's like, you want to see what I can do? This is what I can do. And suddenly I'm like, okay, he's a videographer, he's an audio narrator, he writes stuff, he does all these different things. Like I now have this giant resume that will go somewhere, or it won't. But either way, undeniable, like that 10,000 hours thing, right? I got it, right? And that's how this works. And you're in the same way. You started as an actress first. Did you
Actress, yep. And
right? You started as an actress.
Yeah, I broke out into television and found out I was pregnant with twins, and
yeah, you said in television it said that pregnant with twins thing is not going to sell, which I'm not really entirely sure if that's true or not these days, but back then that definitely was the thinking. And so you decided that I have these talents, I still want to perform. I'll do a voice thing, and that led you to learning the business end of things, and you're advertising. You still do storytelling, and that way you increase your clientele, your range, your knowledge, all that stuff. So, you have these jack of all trades people working for you because you yourself had to become a jack of all trades person as well. You have to. I mean, like, look.
I'm good at one thing. I narrate. I'm like, I act. That's what I good at.
There's two things right there, actually.
Two things. Oh, sorry, two things. Okay, but I kind of put them together. I know, but I kind of put them because it's kind of.
No. They are little. They are. They're okay. They're in the same book, but they're not quite on the same page. Like,
no,
they
are different.
Yeah, they are very different.
Purists out there that say.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just the fact that difference between doing an audio and visual podcast, right? I now can see your face. I now can react to that said face. See, it's getting all that, getting that shot, getting me. Like, no, don't look at me. I'm not. But he's special bullshit. But anyways, but
you're so crazy.
Yeah, but I bring this up just to point this out to you, right? You've done everything you've done has led you to where you are now. Everything.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, everything you worked on started just because you did one thing and you did it for a long enough time that you became good at it, that other people could not help but notice it.
Yeah. That, and also I force myself into people's.
Well, no, you don't. No, see, no, you don't. Here's a little secret I figured out about 2 years ago after I actually had talked to you. It wasn't you. Just after I talked to you. I remember I dated somebody, and I went through this period. I recognized I was hitting that point in my life where people were filtering me out because again, I'm middle aged. People are now having kids, they're settling down, and there's a filtering process that happens when you do that. And all my friends now are raising families, having kids, and there's nothing wrong with any of that stuff. I would love to at some point, maybe I find somebody, I may have kids myself. That'd be great. I'll be super dad trying to figure out how diapers work. I don't know, but the point is, you come to recognize that with people, everybody filters, and ultimately, I recognize people do exactly what they want to do, right? You can show up, hey, I'm Marnye. I narrate stuff and just do the red face and shy teeth. Look at my potato chip thing, right? I'm gonna make fun of you now for the rest of the show.
Oh my gosh!
I'm gonna warn you. But the truth of the matter is, you introduce yourself, you put yourself out there. It's really up to me whether or not I follow you or don't.
Yeah, I try to tell that to myself too. I was like, you know what, Marnye, I was like, because I'm a lot about the, like, especially with this Kickstarter thing, I'm very much like, I have nothing to lose. I'll reach out to, the CEO of NBC Sports because why not? Like, I have nothing to lose. What's the worst that they ignore me? Do
you want to hear like some of my crazy things I've done this year? Like two people I've tried to get I tried to get Alice Cooper on the podcast. I've applied for HBO. I've applied for CBC in the Yukon.
Yeah.
I have no fucks to give because I look at it like this. The worst you can tell me is no.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're and where are you? Well, hopefully you get your hot water fixed, but you're exactly in the same place you were, waiting for a plumber, go son of a bitch, show up, help me fix my stuff, right? But what I'm saying is, right, like people choose to follow you.
That's true.
And,
Yeah.
right. And that's the cool thing about passion. Passion tends to weed out people who really want it versus people that pretend they want it. Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've had people reach out to me saying, I know I want to know, how did you start? So I actually have this, I have other resources to refer them to, veterans in the industry who, have developed these incredible websites and written books and everything. But I also have a very basic, here are the groups to join, here are the whatever, here's how you start, here's how to create your studio, here it's, maybe some ideas for mics or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And almost, I would say I get that probably about maybe once every 2 weeks, somebody reaches out, and I think maybe one of the it could be 50 people now for all I know, that's actually tried to pursue beyond that, so like you said, they sound super passionate. I really want to do this. I've always wanted to do this. Da, 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 da. I'm like, this is fantastic. Here's what you do. So you're right. It's like the fire can burn hot, and then it just becomes maybe not. Something around somewhere, it just they just were like, I'm passionate, but not enough to actually take the next step or maybe something happened in their lives for whatever reason that sort of
no, things can happen, but this is what I have found. See, I know this is based on this. I'm doing this every day. I don't have to do this every day. I can do other things. I can do nothing. These things to do. Hey,
I can do nothing.
It's the easiest thing in the world to do. It's the absolute easiest thing in the world. All you gotta do is I can say exactly where I am, and nothing will happen. Or if it does happen, it's very slow. It's a very slow progression. So I can do that if I choose to do that. Or I can say, you know what? I can try this. I can show up and do it. I have 8 rules of success. And the first 2 are show up, rule 1. It sounds like a dumb rule.
No, I hear you say that a lot. I hear you. So there must be a bunch of people that I keep thinking, I was like, how many people have disappointed him and aren't showing up? Because that's a huge thing for you. It's a huge thing for you.
It's amazing because people don't do it. Right. It's not even hard. It's not even like a zillion people. It's just you recognize passion separates you whether you want it or you don't. Right. But it takes discipline to do it day in and day out. And that's
discipline.
Yeah. The thing, right?
Right.
It takes discipline to do it day in and day out. But honestly, I read this actually from an advertiser based out of New York. He actually, one of the things he talks about is for talented people to succeed, he uses billboard ad history to explain the secrets to career successes. It was a great little book, and I cannot remember the title to save my freaking life right now. But I found it at Glenbow Museum, and I love and it's actually in the book. Show up, right? It's amazing how many people do not do that. This is why attendance counts in school. This is legitimately the reason why it counts in school, because it's the most basic, simplistic thing, right? Just going somewhere, making the effort to go somewhere, be somewhere, do something, right, indicates a commitment, right? That's what it really comes down to, right? I say it so simply. I'm happy if you show up, because that means that also tells me, at least on some level, you're committed. Now, you may not be as committed as I am. You might be more committed than me too. On the flip side, it's possible, right?
Of course,
But the bare minimum is you're here. You're here and I know I know this sounds freaking dumb.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah.
I'm like you. Here's the thing. I'm sure that you've had this too. You've hired people, right? I had to. I'll be blunt. I had to back up because I wasn't ready to work with you at that point in time. All right, it just wasn't in the cards, and everything else I was doing. I had to make a choice about what was more important to me, and at that time, right? And it's not a knock to you at all. It's just the honest point is at that point I wasn't ready. All right, other wants were more important to me.
Sure.
Right? People do what they want to do. And once you understand that, you can forgive anyone anything, because now you can just recognize, okay, I don't need to be mad at you if you aren't here. That tells me that something more important to you came up, and it can be anything. And you decided that sleeping in was more important for you that day than coming in, and it could be that simple. Maybe there was a real emergency, like maybe something really important happened. Like at the other extreme.
Sure.
Right at the other extreme. Or somewhere in the middle, maybe you just found something you were more passionate about. I mean, as long as you let me know, we could. I mean, then there's no hard feelings, right? I recognize the fact that, again, I have no control. I have no control over anyone else.
Absolutely.
Right, and that's kind of what how I do this, how I see this, how I look at it. I mean, it's not that people. There was a brief period about 3 years ago when there was this period where I had to realize these things, and once I realized it, it was really easy to forgive. Also, consequently, it's easier for me to filter people out. Like I can immediately tell.
Yeah.
Now I can immediately tell. I'm kind of ruthless this way, but I think you have to be. My time's valuable, like just like your time's valuable.
Of course. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm. Yeah. I mean, yes.
It makes sense. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you've had people that have committed to you, like I'm just throwing myself on the bus here. I'm sure other people that have committed to you that.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about it. Yeah. It's sure. Yes.
Yeah, right. That just like, that have just been like, they just don't. And and really what you're mad at, you're not mad that they didn't do it. You're mad that they gave you an expectation and they just didn't follow through. That's the part that makes you mad.
Well, and a lot of times too, when you're the owner of the company, if they don't show up, it all falls on you. Absolutely. Everything falls on you, and it looks, you feel terrible because you haven't serviced the client properly. You feel terrible because, you're the person that hired the person that hired or whatever. Like it all comes back to you. So, yeah. It sucks. It's disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to just like you were saying, you're like, okay, I forgive you. Let's move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I certainly had a situation like that. It took me a while.
Well, no, it's okay to be pissed. I mean, honestly, no, like.
No, I'm actually not anymore. I'm in a much better place, but it cost her. I almost had to shut my doors.
Yeah. No, it's more along the lines of it's when it happens. Like I said in the last.
I was very angry at the time.
No. Like if they had come to you, before any full commitments were made, before you had plunged in and said, I can't do it, that would have been a lot easier to.
That's different. No, that's different because then it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it, but there's no contract. So that's very different. That's a whole
it happens all the time. That's a big thing because the expectations aren't set yet, right? Yeah. And that's the big thing, right? There once there's a commitment, once people commit to each other, there's an expectation on both sides.
Absolutely.
Right.
As there should be, right?
Yeah, that's it, right. That's being professional. That's being business. That's being like that's just looking at it completely the way it is. I've learned that for me personally, that that's the thing. Like it's learning how to kind of temper expectations. Obviously, much like you, once we get to the point that the pen's to paper, we're in. Like that's we're in. And what annoys me at that point, and then it's a little easier to annoy me because if you decide that you aren't as serious as I am, why am I here?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, yes, that one clicked perfectly with you.
Well, and let's just say too, people don't understand that they make a choice and the repercussions that that choice has. People don't think if you leave. So I'm trying to be very delicate, as I'm sure you're gonna understand why.
If you don't want, as long as you don't name names, you're good, right?
Yeah,
as long as you don't name names or name projects. Yeah.
If you back out of something, let's say, they don't understand that that affects X, Y, Z, which then affects X, Y, Z, which then affects X, and before you know it, you're talking a ton of ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the reason I almost had to close my doors.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, and obviously you.
You're right. People do need to show up.
Yeah. That's it, right? There are ways for things to go south and no one gets hurt. Like there are ways, or
I haven't found those yet, but let me.
No. That's right. When things go south, that's right. That's different.
And no one gets hurt.
No.
Tell me about this.
No. When things go south, you can walk.
Your production coordinator Denise should be like, nope, don't know what you're talking about.
No, Denise, no. There are ways when things go south that no hard. There are ways when things go south that there are no hard feelings.
Okay.
Right. There's no hard feeling.
Yes.
It happens. It does happen. Right. Yeah. Right. So, sometimes it still happens. Even the best of intentions, and that's life too.
Sure, and I think some people make choices. They're not. They don't understand how much that choice is affects other things.
Yeah.
You know, they think, oh, it's just they'll just figure it out. They just figure it out. Well, it doesn't work that way.
No.
They don't work that way at all.
I remember you, Highland Fighter. See, we're joined by somebody. How you doing, Highland Fighter? Nice to see you. Right. Yeah, this is
somebody here.
Yeah, somebody's here. Somebody's on the stream watching the stream. So yeah, this is Marnye. Marnye does amazing stories. She's an audioverse. I've been turning her red for about 30 minutes.
That's true.
Yeah. So nice to see you, Highland Fire, and welcome back. And I hope you guys stick around and watch the rest of the show. Hi.
Welcome.
No, like. That's the professional part. Like let's it does happen. Like it sounds like such a simple rule, but I realize like it's the fundamental to every business ultimately.
Yeah, you're right.
Showing up and fulfilling expectations. It sounds incredibly simple.
Sounds basic, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly simple, but it's true. Like that's yeah. And honestly, I mean, that's why integrity is such a big part of business. Even though a lot of people don't think of business that way, honest to God, no, yeah, it really is that way. Unless there's stupid money involved, that's when things can get a little screwy sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way it goes. Like you're as good as your word.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love the name too. I'll tell you the story about how the Just Joshing podcast came about. They asked, I love the name of it. So yeah, I can tell that story somewhere in the show. But before we do that, so Marnye.
Yeah.
Right. You're doing a Kickstarter for the first time. Is this your first Kickstarter? How's that going?
Kickstarter. It's going okay. I mean, we have I think it's 30 days left. We have to raise 10 grand. We've raised 25. So not terrible. I mean, I'm pretty proud of that. Our first time ever doing a Kickstarter. But it's I'm in conversations with some folks with the NFL and NFLPA. So that's exciting. Trying to figure out a way to get us more exposure. Other people, something called the Fritz Pollard Alliance. There's a gentleman there that's helping. I have their names. I'm just not saying their names. I don't know if they want their names out there, and I don't know. This is your show. I'm the well, actually, no, you're the pretty one. I'm just here listening. Oh my God!
Right.
A rolling chair. I never should have done that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Wait, can I spin?
You can
my gosh, I can. I've never tried. Okay, sorry. So anyway, so Fritz Pollard did a lot of amazing things like 100 years ago. And his story is still resonant today. And we want his name out there. I want his name out there. I realized I had put up, basically what happened was I found this article on BBC, because I like to look at BBC because I feel like our networks are always like us versus them. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of it is like, here's my opinion of what happened, not actually what happened, but that's just me. And BBC tends to be a little less of the us versus them and sort of like, here's the deal kind of thing. Here's what's going on. So I was looking at the BBC, and then it said this article about football, and I love football. So I was like, oh, what's this? And so I learned about this guy, Fritz Pollard, sort of this forgotten man. There's actually a documentary called The Forgotten Man produced by Anthony Smith and Nate Burleson, who I reached out to, both of them, by the way. And they both responded. Yay. So anyway, sorry. So I was reading the article and I was like, this guy sounds fascinating. I want to read his biography. And I'm just like, I need to get the audiobook because there's no way I'm going to be able to, I barely ever read paperback anymore because I can't do it. I'm multitasking all the time, and audiobook is the best thing for me. And I can read while I run. It's good stuff. So anyway, I realized there wasn't one. And the book is like $800. You can read several pages online and it's really good. But anyway, so I put that up there and I'm like, hey, someone needs to do the audiobook for this so I can read this book. And then within hours, I realized that, like, you call it whatever you want. I call it like a God thing. I just felt like this is my responsibility. I need to make this happen. My company is going to do this. And for the first time, we're going to buy the license for a book, and we're going to produce this book, and it is going to be off the hook, amazing and awesome. And this is going to be my contribution to all the insane social unrest that is happening. This is going to be my contribution to, I'm going to get a little social justice, the need for social justice, and the frustration over the systemic racism, really. And I'm just thinking this whole time, like, I have to do something, what can I do? And I realized, like, this is it. There's this dearth of Black American heroes, these stories that exist that we don't know about. Whether it was, Fritz Pollard's situation, where he was born in a time where that stuff was just, Blacks achieving excellence was either just not written about at all, or it was, maybe a little bit, but dismissed, or it was forgotten, right? And so here's this guy, a football hero from the 1920s, just like Red Grange. And you look up Red Grange has over 77 million references on Google. Fritz Pollard has 1/60th of that. Red was white, Fritz was Black. I have a problem with that. And that's my contribution. I want to help rectify that. That's my thing.
So,
and I can't look at my daughters in the eye at 6 years old and be like, yeah, your mommy's just going to stand back and do nothing.
That's interesting. So, okay, I want to ask a broader question, but I'm going to start with you, because I've done this. No, and not in a bad thing. It's something I've noticed about you, and I think it's really cool. The broad question is, before we get into specifics about Fritz, is I think for you, are you in love with a particular era? Because the reason I ask this is, you're a big Conan Doyle fan.
Yeah.
Some Conan Doyle stuff.
Yes.
Pollard is like, we're looking at like the end of the 1800s, early 1900s.
Yes.
Like you love a lot of stuff in that era.
I think they do kind of focus.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just curious.
I never thought about that.
Where that came from. Yeah.
It's funny. I really don't know. I guess history was my other major.
Okay.
And I guess, I've always been sort of fascinated, and, you learn from history, right?
Totally.
How much does it inform what you do today? And I just fascinated. Like, I took Greek history, I took Irish history, I took Scottish history. I like every war, gender, and I can't remember, it's a while ago. I'm old. I don't remember if I was in college.
You're not that old.
No, I know, but I can't. My memory's been going for the past 20 years. But anyway, I've always had a love of history. I love historical fiction is one of my favorite genres, especially mystery, obviously. But this isn't fiction. And it just happened to be that it was, I just saw that it was football, which I've, been screaming at the television set since I could talk, because I was raised that way to, root for Washington. And my grandfather used to boast about how this Hall of Famer, Darryl Green, who's of course played for Redskins, for Washington.
Well,
Washington.
That's a very common thing to say. They were the Redskins forever.
If somebody can give me a break, please. I've been calling them the other one since.
They were the other one until this year. I mean, literally this year. Yeah. So.
Anybody who writes into you about how horrible I am.
No, it's okay. My response will be I'm an equally horrible person too. Okay. So it's all good. I'm not. I don't care
about having Darryl Green at his parties, and so whatever. Anyway, so I saw it was about NFL, and I saw that it was about an African American, and I was interested. I wanted to know, and honestly, ever since, and this is going to get really controversial, I know, since Kaepernick took the knee in 2016.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, and I've said this to people who I've reached out to, because I'm like, I want to be totally transparent with you. It took me a couple years to understand what that meant, because you have to understand, I came from a military family. So the first thing I'm thinking, and this is sad, but this is where my head was at. I was also raised in Republican, uber staunch, hardcore Republican, going to parties from the time I was 6 years old. So to sort of get all that out. And anyway, the respect for the flag. We had a flag, and that flag was folded a very specific way, and that flag was handled a very specific way. You always stood for there were like things that it was, so the knee thing was like not okay, right? And I'm totally admitting this. It took me a while to understand that I needed to understand that he saw the opportunity to cry out, because they weren't being heard. The African American community is not being heard, and the atrocities and the horrificness that was happening and has been happening, and the whole Black Lives Matter too. It took me, like I said, it took me 2 years, but man, when it hit me, Josh, it hit me so freaking hard. I mean, like as if like a ton of bricks fell on my head, and it was just like, bam, I want to do something. I now see, oh my God, I'm thinking that the flag is more important than systemic race. Like all of a sudden, everything just, and it was like whoosh, 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 all my childhood, everything. And now unfortunately, I've lost a closeness that I had with certain members of my family, which is kind of sad, but sorry.
No. Okay, so.
But anyway.
All right, we're do something real quick before I give you a response. Maybe it will hopefully make you feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
High on Fire just basically wants to know what you do for a living. So just for everybody, just to really.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, just really quickly.
I'm an audiobook narrator and producer.
And also an actress.
And also an actress. Sorry, also an actress.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's very good in her field, like really good in her field.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. So.
Yeah. So anyway, whatever. So that's it. So anyway, okay. It shifted my entire world, basically, in a good way, and that's where, so when I saw that opportunity, I guess, and I was like, I'm going to do this. And I even told Denise, our production coordinator, I was like, I have a great, crazy idea. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this.
Yeah, go ahead. Go.
Okay, then I will.
I don't care.
She's so used to saying that. She's like, okay, basically, okay, what is it? I was like, we're going to fucking do this. I think we're going to do this. We're going to buy the license. We're going to produce this thing, and it's going to be awesome. And she's like, I am so in. So I went after the publisher. I went after everybody, trying, the author, everybody, pay attention to me. I want to do this. And after some persistence, On my part.
I can only imagine.
It worked.
Oh, yeah.
So now partnership with that. They're lovely, absolutely lovely people. I mean, they just didn't know me from Adam, so I had to, indicate to them
Yeah.
quality work where I'm not a schmo. Like I have my ducks in a row. I'm very serious about this project. I already have, JD Jackson wants to do it, and he's freaking unreal. He's narrated 2 Pulitzer Prize winning stories. He's, stage, film. He's just unbelievable. He's a golden voice, which is a thing that audiophile magazine awards you if you're just like so fan-frickin-tastic that no one can stand it. So he's got that voice, and he's doing it. And so now, so the Kickstarter is just to absorb the cost, because I'm gonna do it no matter what.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. And you know that about me by now, Josh.
I do. So Highland Fire asked a really fun question. How do I meet these people?
Okay, I love fun questions.
Highland. So, how do you meet these people? And the answer is, actually, to be perfectly honest, I don't know. I just ask. I legitimately, Highland Fire, a real secret to doing what I'm doing. Ask people. You'd be amazed how many people will just say yes if you just ask. And even the people that say no, sometimes the no's are absolutely the sweetest no's you'll ever get, right? Because it's not a question of they want to or don't, just they don't have time. But for the most part, Marnye is a human being. She likes chocolate. She's got 2 kids.
I'm a human being.
Yes, I mean, she's a human being like everybody else. She likes chocolate, right?
I love dark.
Yeah. She loves chocolate. She loves coffee, right? She has 2 adorable kids. She's a human being. So you approach people like they're human beings, they tend to respond like they're human beings. You go, oh my God, they're awesome. Like, she is awesome. But she is awesome. But the thing about that is, right, if you approach them like, if you show people appreciation for who they are, right, people tend to respond, right? And I think my gift with people is I tend to encourage everybody, and people, for whatever reason, take me seriously. Right?
Sorry, I heard my child screaming. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
She's fake screaming with her animals. It's fun. One of them's fake screaming. It's fun.
It's okay. Fake screaming from the animals. It's fun. They're telling a story.
You hear it and you go, it's like the dog.
It's an antenna. So,
sorry.
But that's to answer your question, Hannah. That's how you meet people, and I've been doing this for a long time. That also I have a reputation. So one leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, and next thing I know, I'm talking to Marnye Young or Spider Robinson or somebody, because people can look me up. I have a reputation, and you can find me. This is my 457th episode. I've been doing this for a very long time. I know. Like I said, I have the resume, so that helps too. So going back, no, it sounds like you're again going back to the very beginning. You're a very passionate person, and I have no doubt you were going to make this work one way or the other. But I couple things. Go unpack backwards and forwards. I moved around so much as a kid. One of the biggest things I realized, like, it took me a long time to realize where my box was on some things, right? Because I had the benefit of, since I moved to so many different places, I saw so many different aspects of life, almost like a book out of order. I'd see all the time, right? She is super sweet in Highland, but the thing about this is there comes a point in your life when you realize that we all have biases, we all have things we're raised to do. Sure. And I think one of the hardest things that I mean for me to understand personally about myself is I am biased. And no matter what I do, no matter how honest I try to be, there's always going to be certain preconceptions that I have. I cannot escape them. The only thing I can do is be aware that I have them. And when confronted with them, will I get rid of every single one of them? Probably not. That's just me being very honest. But I'm honest enough with myself to acknowledge the fact that I'm not perfect. The world changes all the time around me. I have to change with it and adapt. and I have to grow. And it sounds to me, and the thing is, I mean, when I look at my dad. My dad's in his 60s.
Mm-hmm.
As I get older, it's harder to change.
Yeah.
Right. We're both still at an age where it's easier to change. There's going to come a point when, okay, I've been doing this for so long, I don't know how to be anything else. That stage does come to us all at some point. And when it does, you have to recognize the fact that you are where you're at. You have to be honest with yourself. It's like, I've hit my limitations. And again, if you can at least do that, you're where.
Yes.
Right?
And awareness is a huge.
Right. That's all you can do.
Nothing to poo-poo awareness. It's a big deal because a lot of people walk around completely unaware.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, right?
Not to be, yeah.
But and you have to forgive. So, I don't know what happened with your family. This is just.
Sure.
We don't need to go into great.
No. I know. Yeah.
No. But what I wanted to say for you specifically, right? And maybe this will make this easier. Maybe this won't. And I don't know. You don't need to go in great detail. Recognize where your family, like with that in mind, keep in mind where your family's at versus where you're at, and maybe someday, right? If they don't at least change, maybe at the very least, how do I put this? They become aware, right?
Sure.
If they're right, that's it. That's my hope for you. That's my hope, and that's all I'm gonna say there, because anything else is not my damn business.
Right. I mean, I was like talking about that. I was like, crap. So it's like.
No. That like I said, I don't want to step on toes, because I don't want you to throat punch me. You probably have a vicious. You're a mom, and you might have a vicious throat punch. I don't want to get that. I'm actually nearly my 40s. I'm not going to ask how old Marnye is. Again, I don't like getting throat punched there, Highland Fighter. I just don't want to get that throat punch.
Oh, somebody wants to hold it. Oh, he wants to know. Or
they said mid-20s, and I'll take that. But I'm closer to 40, right? And I'm not even going to dare ask that.
I don't care. How old? What?
He said you asked if you're mid-20s, and I'm answering you. It's like, yeah, you're older than that. And I'm not going to ask to say how much older than that, because again, I like my throat. I use my voice for a living as well, differently. But
no, I'm 43. I'm 43. Yeah, I took my time. I got married in 2012, and then we had our twins in 2014. So I definitely took my time in finding the right one.
So I mean. Well, still, there's no rush. There's no rush in this life.
It's worth it to take your time, I think.
Yeah. No, the right person is better than the wrong one. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. 13 years old. We have a 13 years old. Oh wow. That's awesome.
That is awesome. I love it.
Yeah. So.
Oh no, the person heard me swear.
That's okay.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? At 13, they probably have invented swear words we haven't.
I guess you know what? That's true. I learned that word when I was like 7, so I guess okay.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Like, it's totally fine. I tend to how dare me? Right. Oh, he's joking with you. That's all good. Right. But that all said, right? That all said. Going back to like what you're saying, it sounds to me like you're very passionate about your history. You're very passionate about your Kickstarter, and you've cultivated a very what's the term? A following, because you've done. How many books have you actually done? Like, as you voiced at this point.
Me have I done, or my company? Me.
You specifically.
Oh, I think over 150 now. I started at the end of 2017. Yeah, about 100, at least 150, I think.
So 150 to 1. I have 1. So I got a lot of catching up to. I got a lot of
work to do. Get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but knowing you'd be like, yeah, I've got 60 done now.
No.
No, it's quality over quantity, right?
Well, it's
Yeah.
not even that. Going back to something when I did it, I loved that I did the audiobook experience, and I would still like narrate. Like I totally would narrate more. I think though for me, this is what I do. This right here
Mhm.
is what I do. I think for me, right, I think narration for me would be more of a job, not a job I hate. Like I enjoy
Sure.
it, right? But it's
Yeah.
not do what you're doing to the degree, to the skill you're doing. You love what you do.
I do love what I do.
Yeah, and that's I again, that same person that I talked to, an old friend that will jump out of the plane with me. She gave me a really good piece of advice because I was trying to figure this out. Because the moment I made the decision to try the audiobook thing out for a bit, the month I was really serious about it. Right. I couldn't. I actually lost money that month. It was weird. Like it just ended. I ended up losing it, and I was trying to figure out what happened, why it happened, and to actually put this out. They put this out was you gotta do what you love. Like you have to at the end of the day do what you love. And I thought to myself, well, okay, but what's my niche? Not realizing that I've been doing my niche very quietly as a freelancer for years, right? This is what I do. That doesn't mean I won't do books again. I actually enjoyed the challenge, trying to figure out the balance between Esperanto and like speaking Mandarin in the same book.
Oh my God. Geez, your first book and you take on like
yeah, no, I took on a science fiction book.
So, we started like a little half hour. Like,
no. It was a buddy's book, and Esperanto. I knew the Mandarin I was down with. I knew the Mandarin how to say the Mandarin. The Esperanto kicked like the J's just kicked my ass, right? Because it's just because there's the ha and then there's the huh, and you're like, which one's the right one?
Oh my gosh!
Right. That was my first book. So. Yeah, that was my first book. I'm actually very proud of it because
Wow.
Yeah, it was my first one. So yeah. We all got skills. She's better at the book thing than me, but I've done one, and it was a great experience, and it taught me a lot about sound editing too. My sound quality got better because I understood what I was missing. I understood it a lot more because the voice. I think you've been proud of me. So what I did was I edited the book a page at a time.
Uh-huh.
It's just so much smarter to do it that way than the whole chapter at once. It's like if I edit it a page at a time, this saves me work over a longer period of time.
I still can't believe how much work you took. Like your very first, when you told me, I was like, okay, tell me again. Tell me, wait, what? Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. I hope you're happy and it works out.
Well, it was a learning. It was my learning. It was
sure.
My learning curve, right? No, as a learning, I don't charge that cheap. I didn't charge that cheap for the second or any book.
Good.
No. I know what I'm doing now. The first book, it was hard for me to justify that price.
I understand that. I was there too at the beginning. Yeah,
it's hard for me to justify it because I don't know what I'm fully doing. Second book, I know a lot more.
I was like, I redid that book, man.
So
that's so bad.
Highland's got a good question for you, and I'm going to ask this one. What's the biggest, your most popular book that you've done? What's your most popular one?
Oh, like a best-selling book?
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it was a romance because that's my bread and butter. Yeah. And, romance is the #1 genre then in audiobooks, followed by, well, I don't know about regular, but I know in audiobooks it is, followed by his mystery thriller. That's #2. So it was definitely a romance. I just don't know which one. But we had at least our company. 2 of the books that we produced were on the top 100 for Audible, so that was nice.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done, I'd say, about 90 productions since we started, like with the company, not me before that, but with the company. I think it's like 90. They're not all on Audible yet, but we've done them.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I mean, you definitely, like I said, you have a reputation. So you going into Kickstarter, I imagine you have a pretty big following. I had Russell Nolan. Well, Russell Nolan is looking for voice people, like female voice people. I pretty much I put through your name in that hat. It's like you're really good at what you do. So yeah, well, no, yeah, no, you're good at what you do. But going back to what we were talking about, like love is a big thing of what you do. Like to do what you've done takes an incredible. Not yet, Highland. I have to get to 50 followers first. Once I get to 50 followers on Twitch, I'll be able to donate. I mean, I have a podcast link. You want to donate $1 if you want to do that, that's great. But you don't have to at this moment in time. Just just watch it. Just watch it. Kind of like I'm kind of growing, so don't worry about that. And I'll get there. Don't worry about it. I'll get there, bud. I got 9 followers in like 3 days. So I mean,
that's amazing, especially with all the platforms that are out there. That somebody, I mean, that just shows you your reach and who's listening, and it'll just keep growing and growing and growing. You know?
Yeah. Well, my audio podcast I'm listening to in Ghana. Like I'm honestly, I can't believe that. Really cool. Yeah. I'm listening to in Ghana. I can't believe that. Right? So, I mean. So I found myself in Russia, China for a while was listening to me somehow, some way.
China had me. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So,
I mean, you're so good at this back end. It's just so natural for you. You don't even like you don't give anybody any like pre-questions. You don't have any like you just do your thing. Yeah. No, it's great.
Yeah. Well, I'm good at reading people. If you want, yeah.
He says hi.
Hi, Mr. Marnye. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Mr. Marnye.
Hello, how are you doing?
He has an architecture firm. It's called Architecture. Yeah, he was on.
What's his actual name, so I can actually.
Oh, Chris. Sorry.
Tell Chris it was a pleasure to meet him, and also just tell him that. How am I going to put this? Tell him that he has an amazing woman in his corner, and I'm hoping probably and also I'm sure he's an amazing guy himself.
He is. He's the best guy ever. I love him very much.
Yeah. So. But anyways, like to keep this rolling and going here, right?
Yeah.
Like passion's everything, and the fact of the matter is, I mean, this is what you fell in love with this. Like I'm like probably out of just you discovered like this whole wide world of what you can do, and boom, here you are, right? And,
yeah, I mean, I was just struggling. The girls were 2 years old, and I didn't, a friend of mine, Patricia Santamasso, who she and her husband, Sean Patrick Hopkins, are both incredible performers, incredible audiobook narrators. They think that they have their own company too. Anyway, she was just like, you have a nice voice. You should think about doing audiobooks.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then before you know it, I mean, when you tell me to do something, I'm like, I can never just half. It's like, oh no, I'm going to create my own company too. And I'm going to I just like, because it's just my personality. It's like.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. I mean, that's like once you're in. It's why I think we are friends. I'm crazy that way too.
But you know what's so cool?
Yeah.
Because when you own your company, you get to hire people.
Yeah.
So you get to call them up. Well, I don't call anybody because I don't use phone. Not really, because there's no reason to. I get to say like, congratulations, you got cast, and I love it. And you get to hire, your staff, and you're like, we would love to bring you aboard. Welcome aboard, Audio Sorceress. You're our engineer. You're whatever. It's so fun. I love it. It's adrenaline. I mean, it's great to get a new client. Like that's exciting. But I think it's even more exciting when you bring someone on board, or you get, you get
something. No. It's great to actually chat with people and get to. It's great working with people that really want bring their own way, are equal or better than you.
Oh, wait, they're all better than me.
Yeah.
Smart enough to hire people that are way better than me.
I don't buy that. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, no,
not the way better. They might bring their own strengths. I'm certainly. I
yes,
still want to.
many of them.
Yes.
Many.
I still want to interview Denise at some point. She's very shy for some reason, right? Yeah.
Yes. Oh, she's like the quiet, like killer. You know what I mean? Like she quietly, like I'm like introvert. I can be both. I can be very shy. And then like once I get warmed up, I can be much more extroverted. She's like pretty introverted, but she like all the work. She's my left arm. She's my right arm. She's my left leg. She might be my right leg too. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm certain that I wouldn't be where I am without her. She is huge. I mean, my whole team, but especially because she's because I can't do it all. I can't possibly, be in all these different places and be in with every single project. I mean, 90 projects, I can't, and my own stuff. So not just with the company, but with other production companies. She's incredible. Yeah, and she's a writer. You know that, right? She wrote 2 books.
No, that's right.
Yeah,
No,
she wrote a book, and she wrote me. And she's like, yeah, when I first brought her in, I don't know, maybe it's a couple months later. She was like, yeah, I'm a writer, and I'm thinking about writing something. And I'm like, well, you need to do it. I was like, go do it. I was like, if you need some time, tell me, get it done, do it. And then within like a couple months, I think she'd written like 60,000 words or something. She's like, oh yeah, I just wrote 60,000. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Because she listened from like, someday I'm gonna write a book. She's gonna watch this and be like, but someday gonna write a book, And then she just wrote another one. She wrote a Christmas story.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Did you actually see my first drawing?
No.
It's there. It's on my Facebook wall. Yeah. I actually talk about coming out of my comfort zone. Every Friday I do a drink and draw.
Oh wait, the dinosaur? Was there a dinosaur? No, monster.
Yeah, a little monster dragon.
I didn't see that. Yes.
Yeah, that was my first one. It's all about coming out of my comfort zone, right? So, no, I think the thing I love doing this the most, the honest answer to this, is everybody I talk to, right? They all are amazing, and most of the time they don't realize it. That's the honest truth, right? And it's like they take themselves for granted so much. It is hilarious to me. It's like, here you are accomplishing. You've done 150 audiobooks. You got a Kickstarter. You are a businesswoman, a successful businesswoman. You're in an industry that is super tough to break into. I know, right? right. And here you are kicking all kinds of butt and going around. And I find it hilarious that you're saying everybody else is better than me. It's like,
No, I mean, I'm smart enough to know that they're smarter than me. Like, I don't know. It's like,
by the way, I am not belittling your team. Your team is probably.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It is an incredible group.
I pound you into the floor and
Yeah, but I also get the impression with them and you that if I were to ask them about you would turn really, 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 really red. They probably would say lots of glowing things about you. And I'm sorry I'm doing this, but this has been hilarious. Like, my favorite part of actually something like this.
I'm writing a hate note to you right now.
Yeah. No, it's my favorite part about this is you are a really sweet person, and it's hilarious. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm also enjoying turning you red. It's actually been a little bit of a guilty pleasure with this whole conversation. And but at the same token, you deserve all your success, and I congratulate you honestly just for going out there and making it happen. And going back to the very beginning of our conversation, showing up and doing it. You've done it nonstop since you've gotten into this, and you have worked very hard, and you've earned everything you have, and you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You too, buddy.
I'm trying. I still ain't at the point where this is a living for me yet. I'm working my ass off to try, get that really rolling. But I mean, but but again, for me, younger me couldn't do this. Younger me was just, I gotta do this now. Whereas older me is like, I'm just gonna be relentless, and then eventually, the world's going to give in to me.
Right. Exactly. I'm gonna be relentless. That's exactly like I think I told you before when I talked to you last time. It's that whole like, I'll blow up any back door, any whatever. I'll just blow it up to get in there. I'll do whatever I have to do to get seen, to get my voice heard, to get people to know about our company, people to know about our Kickstarter, because it's the whole like, I have nothing to lose.
Do you have the link to the Kickstarter?
I do.
Excellent. Can you? I do want it. Yeah, I do. I kind of want it.
It says chat with host, and do I put it in that little box, or do I just?
You see that little box with the chat stuff, right? Where you can post a comment.
Private chat comments. Oh, I see it.
Yeah, put it there.
Oh, look at there's Highland Fighter. Okay, awesome. All right, now hold on. Okay, okay, hopefully this doesn't mess anything up, because I don't know it off the top of my head or anything.
No,
So
that's okay.
I might have lost you for a second. You still there?
I'm here. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm here.
Give me one second.
Where?
Right now it's here. Hold on a minute. All right, Fritz Pollard. You're the best. You're so sweet to do this. Thank you.
Oh, I'm actually so. You want to hear the weird thing? I'm booked. I'm booked pretty much the whole way through until the end of January already of guests.
That's so amazing. I'm happy for you. That's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, now I can like see you, but I can't see you. What did I do? Okay.
I don't know what you did. I'm guessing. I see you.
You can see me?
I can see you totally. Yeah, you're fine.
Oh my gosh, I cannot see you. What is there like a?
There's probably a cam. There's a cam mic setting at the bottom there, or on the StreamYard link. See there, it says cam mic. So there's mute, stop mute. Cam mic, share screen, invite.
I lost like the camera completely. It's like gone, but I can hear you. This is really flipping weird.
Okay.
Where is the other window? I'm losing it. How do I get to the other window? Where's my other window?
I don't know. What? Maybe I can't see your screen, so I can't help. I can't help you.
How do I get there? There you are. Okay. Hi. Okay, now how do I leave a comment? I see comments, but I don't see where I can leave one.
It should say post a comment. Does it say that?
It doesn't. It won't let me.
Okay, so why don't you Facebook me
I do that.
Yeah, you can Facebook me your Kickstarter link. And then I'll put it up there for everybody so they can do that, and then we can get to the wonderful part where you promote stuff. Because I think we have an interview here. What do you think?
You are super duper D. I so appreciate this.
Well, this is all about.
Wait a minute. Did I just do these? I might have just sent you the wrong thing. Hold on.
You did. You sent me to the Discovering Kickstarter project.
That's terrible. That's not what I wanted.
This is hilarious, by the way.
Oh my gosh. They're like, Marnie, can you show your Kickstarter? Of course I can. Oh wait. No. Okay, you know what? I forgot to click on it. That's why. That would be the issue. I have a master's from Yale.
I'm a college dropout. I don't know what I'm doing either. I'm just no, you're the pretty one. I'm just
so great. It's my it means nothing. Okay, there we go. We got it. Boom.
Okay, so I'm gonna get the link.
You see it?
See it. Give me a quick second here. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do a real quick thing. So because I don't necessarily think Facebook needs my clicky ad thingy maboovers, right? So what we're gonna do is go back here, and then this is. Yeah, now it's up on. Now you can see it on the comments.
Okay.
All right, see the comments on these Kickstarter. There we go. For anyone interested, this is Fritz Pollard, and I learned today that Marnye was a football fan, which I didn't actually know she was a football fan up until today. That's right. She's a Washington fan. I don't hold that against her. Listen, secretly, I'm a Detroit Lions fan. Don't tell
That's my husband. And we were so excited because we were watching the game the other day between the Lions and Washington, and we were just like, well, at least one of them's going to win this one, because we're both not doing
Your team's going to be good next year. Like, your team is going to be really good next year.
We're due. We're due.
Well, it's not even that you're due. Your defense is great. Your offense can't score, and basically that just means. But the thing about it is, right? That just means you're one person away from being a really good team. That's a quarterback or even a decent running back, right? So Alex Smith, God bless him, is just unfortunately just the way his health issues have hit him. He's just not. He's not what he could have been, and I'm sorry for that.
No,
it's not his fault. I'm not mad at him because how can you be, right?
Sure.
But it is what it is. But this year, I mean, I liked watching your team over Dallas. Dallas sucks. Dallas sucks. Right? You guys.
Sorry for all those Dallas fans out there. We don't like Dallas here.
Oh, no, you generally don't like Dallas in general. But the thing about it is, I mean,
no, we do not. I grew up.
They really.
Funny little story. One second.
Yeah.
I know this has been a long interview, but this is the last one. So my aunt, obviously, like I said, we're huge Washington fans. So my cousin Lance, his friend comes with him, and he's a Dallas, right? And he brings his little pennant into that, knowing that we had hardcore family here. My aunt, not my mom so much anymore because my aunt definitely. So comes in the door and she's like, "You leave that here, and I'm going to destroy it." I was here. I was there. So of course they get to chatting, whatever. He leaves the pennant on the couch. The friend of my cousin's. She takes it outside, runs over it with the car back and forth a few times, puts it back on the couch exactly where he left.
I love this. I mean, the only other football fans crazier than you guys are, and I'm talking Americans in general, are Europeans with their version of football.
Yes, right.
Football, for whatever reason, just makes people crazy. So that's okay. That's all right. I'm a hockey guy at heart. I'm more of a hockey guy. Right?
I went to a hockey game and I had a great time. It was in Madison Square Garden. Yeah.
With all due respect to football athletes, I think rugby players, rugby players, dancers, and hockey players are bigger badasses than football players. I just do. And the reason why I say that is because rugby players pretty much do what football players do without the pads.
That's correct.
Right?
I agree.
Dancers are incredibly strong.
Yes.
They're training. Most people do not think in those terms when you look at a dancer, but anyone that dances professionally,
oh my gosh,
done any training for any significant length of time.
You lift people with their pinkies.
That's right. No. I would rather be punched by a football player than kicked by a dancer. I would rather. If I had to choose.
I love that you thought about that.
I had to choose. Oh yeah, because you watch a ballet dancer. You actually watch what a ballet dancer does.
Yeah.
There's no freaking way. You watch that's like I would break in half doing what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
That takes real power. It's not advertised, but the honest to God's truth.
Both they're all muscle and it's their core everything is so strong. It's so solid that Yeah,
you're not like they're them and hockey players, because hockey players they do everything. They kind of do everything that football players do, except they're on ice, they're skating on top, and they're always moving. So their cardio
they're always moving. That's true.
Their cardio is ridiculous, right?
Broom ball, which is like hockey, but it doesn't. You're not on skates or whatever. Well, there's ice broom ball, but it's similar. Broom ball. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
No, I haven't heard it, but I mean,
very similar. If you look it up, he's a huge player. He at one point he was, not anymore, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. So
he loves hockey too.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things. Like you look at the athletes that are really, really strong. Those are the three sports to look at. It's like you guys, like an MMA fighter and a boxer, super tough, and sometimes they train some of those things. But if you look at it, strictly speaking, just an athlete, just in pure raw things, like dancers, rugby players, hockey players, are probably the most put together athletes on the planet. They probably are because of everything they have to do their sports.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. Are you
about that one?
What?
No, if there's any other sports you didn't cover, I'm like thinking about it now. Like, what?
No, don't get me wrong. Boxers are in great shape.
Of course, yeah.
MMA fighters are amazing too. But if you're looking at just the raw,
Sure.
just the raw athletic, like the prerequisites there, the foundations, maybe a boxer is the only other thing I could imagine.
Yeah. Well, they're so light on their feet. I mean, I know that there was, I don't think they do it anymore, but I heard at one point, and I don't know that it was ever true. They said that a bunch of that when you're a college player or whatever, that you have to take ballet. I don't know that that's true, but maybe some schools made them do that because they wanted them to learn how to be light on their feet. They made them because those are the good players are the ones that could, it's the footwork.
No,
footwork. It's incredible.
Footwork is everything. It's footwork.
And that was Fritz too. Not to segue, but that was a big thing with Fritz, how he like increased them doing the long game and really, because before they would just basically just tackle each other, because it was like at his time it was like 5 yards to the next down, and then it became because they wanted people to actually run as opposed to just like getting in a mass and just piling on top of everybody. And his thing was that he was a runner and he had really good, they called him like shifty, and he was really good at the fakes and all that stuff. And that's all about, it's about your body, sure, but it's about your top, sure, but it's also about what are your feet doing. And he was like known for some crossover move or something that like other coaches tried to implement because it was so good.
It cut off the field. Like when you go against people with we talk about raw skill.
Yeah.
Always people stronger, faster than you.
Yeah.
But you have your brain, you have your tactics, and thing is, you once you figure out, hey, listen, if I come at you at angles, if I come at you at different.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Right. I cut the space off. I'm keeping up with you because you are faster than me, but I'm making less effort to get to the same spaces. Right. Yep. And honestly, and even today, it's a big common thing when you look at football players, right? Really athletic guys aren't necessarily the smartest players. They don't have to be because they have so much raw gifts that they can overwhelm a player with a skilled player. But as their athleticism wanes as they get older, if they have no techniques, they don't last. Whereas the guys who had to work to some degree, again, discipline is so huge in everything.
Yeah.
The guys that had to work with everything, the guys that had to do everything and be everything, they have this tendency to how to put this. They have this tendency to learn the discipline, and they stay in the league a lot longer because they now know what to do to make it work.
Yep.
Right? Or as an athletic guy, sometimes talent where it actually goes against you when you're in a situation where talent's not enough. Because you've never had to work beyond your talent. And when you
think about that, and I think that's what happens when they're like, oh, that guy, he was their number one draft pick, or oh, that guy, he was their whatever. And I think that sometimes it's about what's up in here. It's actually not about their skill because it's not like their skill set changed, but yeah.
Yeah, no, basically, well,
I don't mean intelligence, but I just mean like whatever.
No. This is important. This is important.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it full circle. But it's also this. It's the passion and the want to be better.
Yeah, sure. And some people have gotten by because, well, just even in that, gotten by. They're used to getting by. And then all of a sudden they're in a situation where getting by isn't enough anymore. And they have to, they can't rely on just like the thing that they do. There has to be more than that. And with some of these people, sadly, it doesn't seem like there is more than that,
They've never had to learn the discipline, and unfortunately, I think with athletics, I think my athletics more so than the arts. The arts force you to be disciplined because there's not really a lot of cuddling in the arts.
They're ruthless.
It's much more ruthless environment.
Yeah.
So you have to be very, very. You have to be cognizant of what you're good at and what you're bad at. You try to work on some of the things you're bad at, but it's more you learn how to avoid your weaknesses. I think as an artist, as an athlete, especially if you're in a team sport, your teammates can cover for you to a point, right?
Mhm.
Especially something like football, where you're a piece on the chessboard,
Right.
right? I don't care who you are. The quarterback may be the equivalent of the queen on a chessboard, where it does everything to make everything happen.
Right.
But the reality of the situation is every piece has to be really good at what they do, or else better pieces from the other opponent will beat you every single time. So that it's like football in terms of game theory and war is fascinating. And I feel somewhere down the way when we do this again, you'd like to come back again at some point.
Oh my gosh, I would love it.
I'm going to turn you red again. I'm going to warn you that next time you come back, whenever you come back, right? So how about we make a little promise? Say February or March.
Awesome.
Right. We'll do this again.
Yeah.
And by the way, just on a personal note, I've never talked to you quite like this before. This was a pleasure. It truly, really was.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, it's nice to see face to face. I mean, like I said, I always get nervous, but it is nice. Once I can get past like the nerves or whatever, it's nice to like.
It's okay. I can make you blush on cue. It's cool. That's gonna be fun. I get to pick on you a little bit now. But honestly, and I said this earlier, I say it again, be very, very proud of what you've accomplished. You've earned everything. Now,
thank you.
Now we get to the wonderful promo part. You have mentioned this throughout, and this is what's going on right now. You have a Kickstarter with Fritz, Pollard. Yes. Tell people in depth about a little bit about what's going on, how long it's going to go until, how people can help you. Furthermore, and how people can find you.
Oh, okay, sure. So I think honestly I don't know how many days, but I think it's like 30 days we have. No, sorry. Oh gosh, it isn't. Woo. 25 days to go. It's like 21 days to go. 21.
So basically, guys, you have until Christmas.
21 days, because what happens, sadly, I'm sure you know about this, if you don't raise the money, it goes bye-bye, all of it, and you have to start all over again. Mm-hmm. So we're going to figure it out, though.
Yeah. So
I have no idea. We're exploring like every single avenue I can think of.
No, it's right. It's gonna. So it's gonna be made. But you get the opportunity. You get the opportunity to talk about one of the most unknown story, the lesser well-known story in football.
They call it some reporter that called him, I mean, it's sad, but it's just so beautifully a genuine unknown hero. And it's just like, that's it. Because, he won the same award as Jackie Robinson, right? And Rosa Parks. It was like the Whitney M. Young Jr. Memorial Award, for various acts of humanitarianism and different things. And he won it too. But yet, when he's going up there to accept the award, people are clapping, but they don't really know, who he was, what he did, why he was so important, why he deserved that award. Well, I've read the book and I do know, and I'm incredibly passionate about telling his story. So it's Fritz Pollard. If you go to Kickstarter, Josh posted the link on there so nicely. Thank you. Yeah. If you go to our Facebook page, I am everywhere. Josh knows. Marnye Young, Audio Sorceress. You can find me everywhere. I'm in your face. I'm up in your grill. I'm everywhere. So, and it's Marnye. Young is obvious. Audio Sorceress, obvious. But I'm on Twitter. We're on YouTube. LinkedIn. We have 2 pages on LinkedIn. We have 2 pages on Facebook, Instagram, 2 pages on Instagram because I have my personal, and then I also have my the business. So check us out. And so how you could help us? Well, of course, monetarily is always nice, but I know it's tough. I know, time of year, exposure, because our hope is that what happens is we get it in front of that one person that's like, hey, I want to give, a few hundred. Hey, I want to give 1,000, whatever. And if you give, I think it's like 500 or something, you actually get your name in the credits. This production made possible by Joshua Pantelleresco. So your name will be in the credits, and you will thousands and hopefully tens of thousands of people will be listening, and they'll hear, that Highland Fighter helped to make this production possible. But it's going to happen, whether or not this Kickstarter, which it doesn't, then we'll find another way. It's happening. We already signed the contract. We've got our talent. We've got the license. It's happening. It's just a matter of whether or not it puts me in board.
All right. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that this stream is about to come to an end. I want to thank Marnye for coming on the board. And now for anybody else listening to this or watching this, as I should say, whether you hear it on my Podomatic or whether you hear it on any of your apps or whether you're watching me right now on Twitch, if you want to support this channel, you can do so a number of different ways. Follow me. I'm on Twitch. You can follow me there. You can subscribe to my YouTube as well, right? Or you can actually, at this point, if you want to monetarily support me, I have a Patreon page, patreon.com/JustJoshingPodcast. And you can at this point just subscribe and help people out there. Stay inspired, stay true to chaos. Tomorrow, I'm doing a very special little thing tomorrow afternoon, a special drink and draw. My guest is an illustrator who just beat cancer, and we're going to do a little celebration tomorrow afternoon, 12 noon. 12 noon. I'm going to be drawing something. I don't know what I'm going to be drawing for that, but it's going to be fun. And you guys are all welcome to come aboard. In the meantime, guys, stay inspired, keep surfing the chaos. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Thanks for listening.